So recently, cinemas opened back up in Melbourne like a couple of weeks ago after another lockdown. And so since then, I've been to the cinemas 7 times. And I'm just going to quickly, it's a basic kind of video here. I'm just going to review each of the movies that I've seen lately. It's just a bit of a catch-up thing. You get it. You've read the title, right? So yeah, let's get to it. So the first movie that I saw, this was 2 weeks ago, the very first day that I could go to the movies. And what happened on my way to seeing it was my car broke down entirely. And it's still at the mechanic now a few weeks later. I hate it. I've had to get a bit creative when it comes to getting into cinemas since then. It sucks. I hate not having a car. But what kind of made up for that was that the movie was pretty good, and that was Antlers. What also kind of ruined, though, this movie was that I had to go to my local cinema because I was catching a bus there, and I hate my local cinema. Oh my god. So first up, the lights on the stairwells, like in the cinema, were way too bright, and it wasn't bright enough where I was gonna go say something, because I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be like that or not. It was just dim enough where I'm like, maybe that's what it's supposed to be like, but it was just bright enough that it was annoying the shit out of me. Their drinks were warm. What else? I don't know. There was no soap in the men's bathroom when I went to the toilet. Dude, we're in a pandemic world, or at least post-pandemic world. You should probably have fucking soap in your toilets, right? Anyway, that has nothing to do with the movie. Let's get to talking about Antlers. Antlers is a pretty solid creature feature. I enjoy it quite a bit, but it's nothing too special. But I did think that it got a bit more ambitious than it kind of needed to. There was a surface level kind of way that this movie could have gone, and I thought that it kind of delved deeper into the idea of trauma and kind of the metaphor of what's going on in the movie when it comes to the kind of titular creature feature, the creature in this, and what that kind of represents for the protagonists and all that kind of stuff. I think that this is a pretty good movie. There's some solid scares in here, I suppose. I don't know. I wasn't sitting there oh my god, I can't look, this is terrifying me. But it was intense enough, and there were some pretty cool moments. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and usually I don't give ratings to my movies and whatever, but here I've written them down over here. I've got them in front of me. I gave this one an 8 out of 10. It was solid. I liked it quite a bit, but I feel like I don't have too much else to say about it. It was just a good standard movie, you know what I mean? Then the next movie that I saw was Lamb. Now this is an odd movie, man. Lamb is a movie about a woman, a man, a husband and wife who come across a special type of lamb, okay? And they pretty much go about protecting this thing and raising this thing as their own. And there's a very obvious kind of thing that's going on here as to why they're doing that, which I won't say here, but once you're watching the movie, you kind of understand why they cling so tightly onto this lamb. And it really tugs at the heartstrings in some ways, but then there's some really creepy kind of tones to this movie as well. It's very odd, it's very unique, it's very art house. A24 is the production company behind this one. And yeah, you can definitely tell when you watch this movie that this is from that kind of studio, and I think it was pretty awesome as well. Definitely a very artistic type of film. I gave this one a 7.75 out of 10. Then I saw Pig. This is a movie about Nicolas Cage literally trying to get his pig back, much like a John Wick type of revenge film. This movie is set up where Nicolas Cage has to get that pig back at all costs, but this is kind of the antithesis of a John Wick film. It's very anticlimactic in a really beautiful kind of way, though. I think that Pig, even though it does kind of feel like you never quite get the moment that you're hoping for and expecting, that's kind of the point. And even though you don't get that, Pig really makes you feel for the protagonist. One thing I will say when I saw Pig is that in my audience, though, everybody was laughing. Everybody in my cinema was like, ha ha ha! It's Nicolas Cage, and therefore it's funny, because he's the weird guy that does weird shit. So, ha ha ha. It's everything had to be soaked in a layer of irony. And if anybody actually was watching it in my cinema, authentically, they'd look stupid or something. And it kind of made me end up feeling stupid, because I'm wait, is this movie actually hilarious? And I'm missing so much here or something? I don't know. I've asked friends since seeing it, and everybody tells me that no, It's really not that outright funny. There are comedic moments here and there, sure, but this is a drama. So I think I read that right, and my audience was just like, that. It's Nicolas Cage, so it's funny, and that was kind of annoying. But I did like this movie. I gave it a 7.75 out of 10. Then next up was Last Night in Soho, which fuck me is a good movie and was made for me. This is a movie that I'd been looking forward to for like 2 years. I'm pretty sure I had it in my most anticipated movies of 2020 video that I made at the end of 2019. Edgar Wright's new movie. This is a kind of time travel horror movie. Very unique in that kind of way, and it goes in some different directions that I wasn't expecting, that I really kind of liked by the end. I can see how some people would think that the message is kind of muddled and that Edgar Wright doesn't quite get the tones properly when it comes to the horror genre. I understand why people make those criticisms, but I wholeheartedly disagree. I think that Edgar Wright really proved himself here to be able to delve into this different genre. And I also appreciated that he kind of gave this respectful voice to a female protagonist, which he hasn't done before. And I did like the kind of tone and the point of this film through all that. I also, it's Edgar Wright, so the editing is on point, and it's about time travel. So you really can't go wrong here for me. Plus, it's a horror movie. This is like my perfect movie, basically. I really love it. I gave this a 9 out of 10. Then, next up was Nitram, which I have covered on my channel, and my god, Nitram got a straight 10 out of 10, okay? If you want to hear more about that one, check out my full review. But just for the quick play-by-play type of thing, is that the right term? I don't know. That sounds like a sport thing. The basic premise is that this is about the real-life shooter Martin Bryant, who committed a horrific act in Tasmania in 1996 where he killed 35 people. And the movie is about before that incident and kind of why that character ends up going in that direction. It's very fucked up, very morally challenging when you watch this film. It's not fun. Some may call it boring. Some may think that it's exploitive, and I kind of understand that as well. Offensive, but I also think that it's kind of weirdly beautiful and really well told. And I think it's pretty much a perfect film, if you ask me. Then I saw Eternals, and my god, Eternals, much not like Last Night in Soho and Nitram are perfect movies for me. Eternals was like the movie that was like just not for me. Like, I really did not enjoy Eternals very much. I can say that it's a solid film. I can say, like, yeah, objectively it was well made and all that kind of stuff. It's a Marvel movie, so it was entertaining enough and whatever. I didn't completely hate it, but come on. It's nigh on fucking 3 hours long, which is just way too long. And really, after watching this film, I still don't feel like I really know the Eternals very well. I watched the first 2 episodes of the Hawkeye show last night, and I feel like I know all of the characters in that show more than I do any of the Eternals at this point. The Eternals for me was just a slog and a half to get through. It was just boring. I don't feel like I really don't feel like I know any of these characters. The characterization was really not on point for me. And it was really just a bunch of like alien robot type of people who are like, yes, we must be superheroes. There's just no personality there, and everything was just like fantasy talk. It took itself way too seriously. And something that I kind of noticed when watching this movie was that it felt way more like a DC movie than a Marvel movie. Because apart from a few scenes, like one where they make a guy dress like a baby and it's meant to be so funny or whatever, apart from a few things like that, this is a very serious film. It takes itself dreadfully seriously, and I just couldn't really get behind it, because as much as a lot of people, critics and stuff, are trying to tell us that Eternals is a much more like heady film and it's much more mature and unique than any of the other Marvel films, I just thought it was kind of punchy, kill the CGI creature and come on, we gotta be superheroes. I don't know, man. Eternals was just not great, in my opinion. Sorry if you think it was. I gave Eternals a 5 out of 10 because, again, stylistically, it's well shot, it's well edited and all that shit. Well edited. It's well edited, I suppose, like in singular scenes, but it's not well paced, which is an editing issue. Anyway, I gave it a 5 out of 10. Whether you think that's fair or not, I don't know, up to you, but for the most part, I really didn't enjoy Eternals very much. Then, the last one that I saw, I just actually got back from this screening like just now, because even though it's been out in America for like a few weeks, like a month or so, it just came out here, and that's Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. I was actually weirdly fucking really looking forward to seeing this movie, and you know what? Look, it wasn't good. It wasn't a great film, okay? I gotta say, like, definitely not a perfect, great example of cinema. But, oh Oh my god, Venom 2, like, and the first one, it's just the silliest, dumbest shit that knows exactly what it is. Like, it's this giant, evil, sort of alien killer thing that is going around just saying dumb shit. He's like this giant, dangerous doofus. And he's adorable. Venom's just kind of weirdly cute, and I really enjoy his interaction with Eddie Brock, played by Tom Hardy. Like, them two, you know, they're bros. They love each other so much, and it's just adorable, and it's so stupid, and you can't take any part of Venom seriously. Like, it's very silly, especially when it comes to Woody Harrelson's Cletus Cassidy, who is Carnage in this film. Like, definitely a just a silly character, you know, like, just evil for the sake of it. There's not that much of a character, like, arc there or anything, but I don't know, man. I can really get behind this. This is just the kind of film that I will definitely chuck on when I don't feel like anything too serious. I feel like this will be a movie that I probably watch numerous times, even though it's not great. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I wouldn't, like, fully recommend it to anyone who's not interested. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone who wants to see, like, an art house film or whatever. But I liked it, okay? So, yeah. Sue me. I gave Venom 2 a 7 out of 10. And that's it. That's my roundup. Those are the 7 movies that I've seen so far since cinemas opened back up just a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, let me know what you think about each film and all that stuff, and do the things, please, the YouTuber things, which are like, comment, share, subscribe, all that shit, and that's all I gotta say for now. So thanks for watching. Goodbye.